is my first flight ever.
This is awesome.
The Washington Youth Tour is a week-long leadership experience sponsored by the electric cooperatives around the state that send approximately 100 kids every year for a week up to Washington to learn about the nation's capital, to meet their legislators, and to help them become better leaders for our state and our community.
Well, it's really important to us to promote leadership in the communities that we provide service to, and to bring the next generation of young people and educate them and make them want to be involved and to help their communities grow.
So the Youth Tour helps us educate young people, their parents, and the community at large about the electric cooperative form of business, but also it's our way of giving back to the communities that we serve.
The Washington Youth Tour was inspired by a comment made by Lyndon Johnson back in the late 50s. He was speaking to a group of electric cooperatives at a national convention and basically challenged them to send students to Washington to see what our country stood for and what the flag represents. In 1965, Georgia started sending students. I think we started with 8 or 12 students that went to Washington. We've grown now to where we have right around 100 every year that go. We start on the trip with a banquet in Atlanta, and we listen to a great speaker, Brooks Coleman, who's the House Education Committee Chairman here in Georgia and a motivational speaker that we all really enjoy.
I've had the pleasure of doing the Washington Youth Tour for about 15, 16 years, and I think it's one of the most important and one of the most impressive programs that I've ever worked with. This is without a doubt, as far as I'm concerned, the best program for young people that I've ever worked with.
Then we do some team building games to get everybody comfortable with each other.
The thing that really impacts the most is meeting so many people and how their fears just became cheers almost after they met one another and became relaxed, you know, in that opening banquet.
That, I think, is one of the neat things about the Washington trip, is meeting the diverse group of young people that get to go on this trip. And that's what I think my son got out of it, was being able to interact with that diversity and learn from them and see what a great and unique state Georgia is.
We're a bit proud of the fact that FDR's New Deal, the idea for rural electrification, happened down in Warm Springs. And so we'll go down to Warm Springs and see where his little White House is, take a tour of that, and then we fly to Washington.
First of all, you don't have to worry about them. They're in great hands. I mean, the supervision is just superior. They have plenty of chaperones that are well trained in working with young people and taking care of them.
Had reports back from other young people. What a wonderful trip it was, how well organized, how involved the chaperones were.
It seems like there aren't a whole lot of people that probably would volunteer to spend a week with 100 teenagers, but you don't know these kids. Once I set the stage, what really creates the energy of the trip is these amazing students that are chosen by the electric co-ops to come on. It's like they come on the stage and the play begins.
I think they come away with a new appreciation for the history of the country that they live in, a new interest in the government when they get to meet their elected representatives, a new sense of responsibility and feeling after they've visited the World War II Memorial and the Vietnam Wall and go to Arlington Cemetery and realize how many people sacrificed their lives so they could be here in this great country today.
We don't just watch the wreath laying at Arlington, we participate in the wreath laying in Arlington. So I work to get us access that you wouldn't get on a casual trip to Washington. I think the highlight of the trip every year is meeting with our legislators.
It was so exciting, they said, when I got to meet and shake hands with our elected officials and to know that they were real people and that they took the time to meet with us and to talk with us and to listen to my ideas.
It gave us the opportunity to sit and see things and people that were making the actual day-to-day decisions of how the country's run.
That's one thing the Washington trip added to our discussions at home, was the realness of it. I've been to this building, I've seen this person, and how will the decisions that are made in Washington affect everyone.
Watching them experience Washington and meet their legislators and and touch some of the history that they've seen in movies or read in their books is pretty amazing.
I love this place.
You come at an interesting time this morning because you're on the steps of the Capitol the day after the President of the United States talked about energy, which is what the EMCs are all about.
It's always a highlight of the year to have these young people here because they are the future of our country, and I'm very impressed with the caliber of the young people who come.
I've had a lot of students come up to me over the years and say that they thought they were the weird one, that they were the only kid that they knew that had plans and dreams and didn't just want to go to the mall and hang out.
I had the opportunity to go on the Washington Youth Tour in 1983 as a junior. Coming from my background, being raised on a farm in rural Bear County, gave me an opportunity to see and do things that I never had the chance to do.
That they found kindred spirits. They end up rooming together in college, keeping in touch with each other over the years.
What was neat is they started communicating with each other from South Georgia to North Georgia in a Facebook group and calling each other and just carrying on the tour.
We'll bring back 100 students who are going to be better citizens in their communities and more aware adults in our state in the future.
Honestly, the reason this trip is so important, some of you may have your interest piked on this trip and have it renewed in the future to where you become a school board member or a congressman or a senator or a governor or a legislator. Because without good public servants, we don't have a good country.
I've seen young people that it has changed their life forever and had an impact on them and what they wanted to do with the rest of their life.
I wouldn't be in the job that I'm in today, and in fact, I would say that my profession chose me. I did not choose my profession, and the youth tour is how that all started.
Never pass an opportunity by as a young person that you have made available to you, because there are people there that want to see you succeed, that want to see you do well into the future. And so take that opportunity, go on the youth tour.
The Washington Youth Tour makes our children better citizens for our communities. And I think us role as parents who want to have successful children, we want to see them take advantage of every opportunity they can.
Every time I discuss the youth tour, I remind our board members that the best money that the electric cooperatives spend is the money we spend in helping develop these young leaders and sending these young people to Washington each year.